Before we begin, leave the day where it is. The things you did not finish can wait. The questions you kept turning over can wait too. For a little while, you do not need to decide anything. You do not need to become anyone else. Let the room around you become quiet. Let your thoughts move more slowly, not away, just slower. Some stories are not here to take you somewhere. They are here to return you to something you already know. Tonight, we begin with a photograph. Not because of what it shows, but because of what it makes someone remember. And sometimes, the most difficult picture is not the one in front of us. It is the life we keep imagining beside it. On some afternoons, nothing seems to be happening. And yet, something inside us has already begun to move. There was a small frame shop on the corner of a quiet street. Oak and glass. It did not look important, but many things that change us rarely do. Arthur Hale had spent most of his life placing things behind glass. Photographs, letters, old certificates, small pieces of time people were not ready to let disappear. He had learned that people rarely brought him just a picture. They brought a question, sometimes folded, sometimes faded, sometimes hidden in the bottom of a drawer. That afternoon, just as the light softened against the front window, Margaret Ellis came in. She did not look upset. Not exactly. She looked like someone who had been carrying a quiet thought for longer than she wanted to admit. Arthur greeted her quietly, and Margaret returned the greeting. The exchange lasted only a moment. Yet some conversations do not begin with the first words. They what someone is trying not to say. From her bag, she took out an old photograph. The edges were soft. The paper had bent slightly with time, as if it had been looked at too many times and avoided just as often. She told Arthur that she had found the photograph in a drawer only a few days earlier. And ever since then, she had not stopped thinking about it. Arthur did not ask who was in the picture. He had learned that some questions only make people close the door they were almost ready to open. She said it felt strange. She knew it was only a photograph, and yet, every time she looked at it, she found herself returning to the same question. What might have happened if she had chosen differently? Arthur had heard that sentence in many different forms. If I had stayed, if I had left, if I had waited, if I had spoken, if I had not. People do not always regret what happened. Sometimes they regret not knowing what else might have happened. Arthur had spent enough years listening to people to recognize the question. He knew something about the life we do not choose. It never has to disappoint us. There is something strange about the lives we did not live. They remain untouched, clean, unbroken, still. In our minds, they do not age. They do not become ordinary. They do not wake up tired on a Tuesday morning. They do not lose keys. They do not say the wrong thing. The imagined life is almost always clearer than the real one, because the imagined life has no weather, no delays, no bad timing, no difficult afternoons. People think they are comparing one life with another, but most of the time they are not. They are comparing a real life with a story that never had to survive. A real life has interruptions, bills, illness, silence, misunderstandings, things said too soon, things said too late. But the life we did not it remains smooth because nothing ever happened inside it. Perhaps that is why it can look so beautiful, not because it was better, but because it was never tested. It never had to become a Monday, or a winter, or a mistake. The road not taken never had to disappoint you. It never had to become complicated. It never had to explain itself. It simply stayed there, perfect, because it stayed imagined. And this is why some memories feel heavier than what actually happened. They are not memories of the past. They are memories of a future that never arrived. Margaret stood quietly while Arthur worked. The shop did not hurry her. The glass did not hurry her. The afternoon did not ask her to explain herself. There are questions people can carry for years without telling anyone. Not because they are dramatic, but because they are private, small enough to hide, heavy enough to stay. What if I had stayed? What if I had left? What if I had chosen the other person, the other city, the other life? The mind can build an entire world from one unanswered question. A room, a voice, a different morning, a different version of yourself. But that version of life never existed. Only the question did. And sometimes the question survives because there is no answer strong enough to end it. So Arthur did what he often did when people brought him something fragile. He did not try to fix the past. He simply made space for it to be seen. Sleep softly tonight.